Veg of Lund have released its year-end report for 2022, and with me on link I have the CEO Fredrik Carling. Welcome, Fredrik.
Thank you, Matthias.
How do you do?
I'm good. I'm sitting in our new offices where we just moved in a month ago, and I had to shut the doors properly because we have Clara, one of our professors, who's mixing new ingredients in the background here.
Okay, sounds great. I know you've been very busy and there are a lot of things to discuss, but first, during the fourth quarter, you started implementing your new strategy. Can we start there?
Yeah, sure. I came on board the company just before the start of the fourth quarter, and one of the things that I embraced immediately was the strategy that was put in place already earlier before I joined, which was to, on top of the existing sales and market approach we had in our kind of existing markets, to grow that rapidly with the help of new business models. So both the distributor business model as well as the sales through license model. So that is what I have spent, I think, most of my energy during the quarter. We've seen some of those results coming through. I've been able to talk about them. And I look forward to sharing some more of that in the coming future.
Yeah, we will discuss new deals and so on shortly. But first, the three Doug varieties, original, barista, and unsweetened. You have started to sell those, and I also know you had a what do you call that? A test with consumers regarding your new recipes. Can you tell us a bit about this?
Sure. Last year, it became clear for the company at the beginning of the year already, or at the early end of the year, that the current recipe of the milk that was brought to market was not hitting the spot exactly the way it needs to be. So the work started already in Q2 on how do we redefine, how do we redevelop this, still keeping the core kind of truth of potato milk at heart, but get to a taste where consumer really appreciate the creaminess and the taste and the different aspects of the product. And that has now been brought to market just a few weeks back, actually. We launched it in the UK and step-by-step launching it also here in Sweden. And it's an important milestone for us, I think, for two aspects. One, it is the company recognizing that consumers are right. No matter what you think, you need to listen to them to understand what needs to be done in order to meet their palate and their needs. And that has now been done. And it was confirmed, like you mentioned, we did a panel study in the UK where consumers blind tasted a variety of products, including our own, our old recipe as well. And the response was very, very satisfying. It clearly shows the step change that we're taking with the new recipe in terms of taste, mouthfeel, how it mixes in coffee, when it comes to the barista version, etc. So that kind of gives us a good energy and good promise for launching it in new markets as well in the coming months.
Yeah, does this give you better self-esteem?
It does give us a better self-esteem, but it also reignites, if we talk to our business partners, whether it's retailers and now distributor partners, they've always had a very strong belief in the concept. They always believe that we're onto something which is the next big thing. But they've had comments on the taste. So now come back to them and say, well, listen, we've done something. Here are the results from that. It gives them confidence as well moving forward.
Okay, while we are at products, could you give us an update on the three areas if we start with Smoothie?
Yeah, so milk is obviously at the moment our kind of hero product, and it's important that we spend focus on that. We launched the Smoothie product, again, based on the potato emulsion. It offers the lowest by far sugar content of any smoothie in the market. We launched that back in November in Sweden. So we're enjoying the sales of that throughout the Swedish market and looking at where do we take that next, both in terms of flavor development, but also in terms of sales expansion. So that's one. So we got the milk, we got the smoothie. Then the two other things that are in pipeline, which I've talked about before, which is the ice cream, where we have found a way to manufacture an ice cream based on the potato emulsion again, that is creamy as classical cream dairy ice cream, but offers obviously the vegan aspect and nutrition aspects that the potato emulsion gives, so to speak. And then we have the meat. The meat where we are since a few years back in a partnership with Scandi Standard, and that partnership continues. We are a little bit behind the schedule in terms of commercializing it. We will continue to do that work together with Scandi Standard, but within the frame of the agreement, we will also start addressing some other potential partners for the commercial rollout of the meat analog.
Okay, so if we move to after the quarter, you have a few new deals to tell us about. Should we start off in Switzerland, maybe?
We can do that. And like you say, I mean, obviously, this is also, the report talks about 2022. For my part, a lot of the Q4 was a lot about planning and making kind of the foundation for taking some actions in Q1 and moving forward. And one of them was to internationalize our business, and launching in Switzerland is one of those steps. Migros, which is the leading retailer in Switzerland, very qualitative. They understand this segment, and they've taken on DUG potato milk wholeheartedly. So we will launch with them in 480 or so of the stores. We will launch with all 3 options of the milk, and quite massively here during spring. So it's great that it's not only, okay, we'll try in a small corner, but they've actually jumped in. They believe in what we're doing, and they're taking it to heart fully. So I'm looking forward to the Migros launch in Switzerland in not too long.
Will we see a revenue stream already in Q1, or is it Q2?
That's the plan, to see a revenue stream already in Q1. So the final details of the exact timing of the launch is still being planned, and obviously the sale will follow that exact timing. But it's quite likely that we'll see it already in Q1.
That's really interesting to follow that. And move over to Germany, CCP AG, another company that you made a deal with?
Yes. This is harvesting kind of the international interest that has been around our product and our proposition for quite some time, and now taking it into kind of fruition and into works. And CCP is one of them that have been on to us for a long time, wanted to take it to the German market. They are a relatively small company, 180 or so million kroner in turnover, but very dedicated in this segment. And they put together a business plan that impressed me and gives me confidence in making a distributor agreement with them. They are first going to start in a region of Germany, and I want to see some performance in that before I ask them to kind of expand nationally in Germany. But they're on the ball already. I see activities which is very aggressive from their side in addressing both retail, because they know that, but also food manufacturing, which is a segment that they're in today already, and an important part of our business moving forward.
And can you give us a short update on your business in the UK?
Yes, absolutely. UK is the most complete market to date, and it's also where we generate the most revenue at the moment. And when I say complete, which is great, it gives us a good position to move forward, is that we are in retail. So we meet consumers on the shelves through Waitrose, Holland & Barrett and the likes. But also we have a good portion of our business in food manufacturing. So this is when we sell large quantity of packages, so to speak, to the food manufacturer, who then uses in their ready meal and in their cooking, so to speak. Kirsty's is one brand which is widely known in the UK, where they use our milk in their different portion size ready meals. And then what we're doing now is more aggressively entering the HoReCa side. So we see an interest for cafes and restaurants who want to use kind of a one-stop solution for their plant-based. And given that we have an allergen-free solution, which is quite neutral in taste, it's quite tempting for them to look at their gluten, their nuts, their soy-based, plant-based milks, and see how they can replace that with an alternative in serving consumers. So all 3 of those legs is in place in the UK, which I'm quite anxious to see what we'll do with the new recipe and the new energy that we move forward with now.
Okay. And what is the status on your licensing partners in Vietnam and Thailand?
So licensing is often a little bit of a more lengthy process to get into place. So for everyone's understanding, that's when we basically hand over the rights to use our patents, our know-how, and so forth, and then for them to produce and take it to market. So given that it's the whole chain, so to speak, that is involved in the partnership, it takes a little bit longer time. We're still in kind of the final end of the discussions with our previously publicized potential partnership in Vietnam and Thailand. So that's moving forward, and I hope to be able to share the closure of that and how the plans look forward. We still aim to launch the product in those markets in 2023. And then we are engaging in other Asian markets as well with the same type of business model, which is the licensing business model moving forward.
Okay, thank you. And if we move on to significant events during the quarter, you have two new board members. What can you tell us about them?
Well, that's true. Rolf and Anders, actually last night I was in a board meeting together with them for the second time. And they're a great contribution to the board, both in spirit and energy, so to speak. They complement the existing board quite well, but also the fact that they come with a new set of expertise. One, when it's from Anders' side, he obviously have a vast experience from Tetra Pak, and he's very known to the kind of the supply and things of the market, but also the market itself. And then we have Rolf, who has a super long experience as CEO in the dairy business. He's been on the board for Oatly in their early years as they were scaling up. Today on the board of various food tech oriented companies. So both of those two are great additions, which I experienced just last night here in Lund.
Sounds like a great fit then. If we move over to IP, how is your IP portfolio developing?
Well, that's another great announcement that I could share after the quarter was closed, which is the confirmation of the milk patent in Europe. So we have obviously patent pending in other parts of the world as well. But it's always great to get the confirmation that it sticks. And it sticks in Europe, which will make it easier for us to also get it to stick in other parts of the world. So it's important to us to have a strong patent portfolio. We're building it on the ice cream. We have it on the smoothie side as well. And for us, it enables us to particularly have licensing discussions in a more comfortable manner. People who choose to invest with us know that they can do it with the confidence that their product proposition has some protection moving forward.
You are also in the middle of a 3-step financing program. Can you please walk us through that?
End of last year, we talked about obviously needing to finance the company moving forward to fuel this growth, international expansion, commercialization, etc., according to the new business model. The first step of that was the share issue that was with preferred share issue, which was in December. So that was completed. And then we move forward now to continue to finance the company during spring. We have a option program that was communicated already in December as well for current shareholders that falls out in June. So it's a continuous work, obviously led by the board. I'm participating in it, of course, but I'm also focusing on the operation and the business to make sure that we deliver on the promise that we've made in terms of growing the business moving forward.
The EBITDA result for the fourth quarter was in line with the same quarter 2021, minus 8.5 million Swedish kronas. When can we expect a decrease in loss?
Yes, it was minus. Too big of a minus if you ask me, and that needs to change moving forward. In this quarter, I choose also to take some one-off costs to the amount of 1.3 million in order to clear the old stock of the old recipe of milk in order to be able to start fresh in 2023. So that obviously affects. I think also when you look a little bit closer at the numbers, the level that we're at is the level that we will start going into in the new year with as well. Is a sharp contrast to how the year of 22 was started. If we just look at the first half of the year in 22 versus the second half of the year, the loss is more than halved in the business in that period. So it shows to the fact that that the company started out in a very aggressive manner, high cost base, etc. Then started to tune that down throughout the year, and I think we're now at a cost mass, which is the one that makes sense for us moving forward. And now we just need to make sure we build a revenue on top of that to make sure that the EBITDA improves quarter by quarter.
Okay, thank you so much, Fredrik. That was all the questions I had for you today. I want to thank you so much for participating.
Thank you, Matthias.